Welcome to episode 64 of the World Triathlon podcast, where we get to hear from two absolute Nordic powerhouses ahead of the weekend's World Cup action from Bergen. Over the next hour or so, the Olympic and world champion Kristian Blummenfelt ruminates on whether he'd rather be a bull or a sheep, dissects the Bergen World Cup bike course, and reveals some of the sneaky run tactics he's been deploying, while Gustav Iden opens up about his mortal fear of birds ripping out his heart while swimming, and discusses his hometown's penguin population and number one dating venue. Don't forget to tune in to triathlonlive.tv on Sunday the 28th of August from 2:35pm Central European Time, as things get serious for the women's race, quickly followed by the men's, and the World Cup circuit lights up once more. Before we get started though, our friends over at worldtriathlonstore.com have an extra treat for our listeners this week, and you can win a signed cap by Kristian Blummenfelt himself and a $100 voucher to spend on whatever you like from their website. All you have to do is email podcast@triathlon.org and answer this simple question. What would Gustav Iden most like to be able to eat and drink during an Ironman race? The answer is of course coming up in this episode, which I hope you enjoy as much as we did. Kristian Blummenfelt and Gustav Iden need little introduction to listeners of the World Triathlon podcast. The men at the forefront of the Norwegian triathlon explosion have consistently broken new ground with their all-in racing, must-win attitude and fearless approach to pushing the limits of what most thought possible in the sport. We may have largely missed their presence on the World Triathlon circuit in 2022, but with the first ever Bergen World Cup fast approaching, there was no way they weren't going to return the line in their hometown. So, Kristian, Gustav, welcome till podcasten. How are you? Where are you?
Tusen tack. We are in Bergen at the moment, being home for the first time in forever.
It's strange. It's strange traveling home in the same way you travel to a race. It's like we came here Sunday straight from Collins Cup, and we're just here basically for the race, leaving again on Monday. So it's a strange way to come home.
Yeah, straight in and out. But normally it's literally probably like just end of the season, is it? And then maybe you factor in once in the middle of the season somewhere to stay for a little longer.
Yeah, so I think we're both counted up, and it's like for the whole year this year. It might be like 8, 9 weeks, 10 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
So not much at all. But it's good to first be home, and also feels very special to have the race downtown, really downtown in the heart of Bergen.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll get to that for sure. I've been checking out the course on Google Maps. But before we get too far, we've got a bit of added star quality on the episode today in the form of everyone's second favourite Zafira, the one and only Tommy. Couldn't resist the opportunity to come on and push a few Norwegian buttons. So hello, Tom. All right. How's fatherhood?
What's up, everybody? Happy to be on here. Happy to poke a few questions at Kristian and Gustav, because yeah, we get a chance to talk about triathlon stuff, but yeah, I'm here to ask about non-triathlon stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Curveballs ahead. But yeah, so you'll be getting a good grilling from both sides, like a triathlon Big Mac here. So we got a lot of ground to cover. If we haven't got snacks, what are the snacks that Bergen will be offering to the great and the good of World Triathlon when they get there? What are you going to make sure everyone gets a bag of when they can't leave without?
I think, yeah, a snack of rain. That doesn't sound too good, but we Norwegians, like every other country, we're proud of our own chocolate. So maybe get a bag of chocolate and I don't know what else.
So you can try some Norwegian taco maybe.
Yeah,
Friday taco.
Licorice tacos? What the heck goes on up there?
No, not licorice taco, but taco and licorice. Two separate things.
At the same time, though.
No. Dessert.
All right, so here's my follow-up question. If you were to take somebody on a date in Bergen, how would the date go? Like, don't leave out any details.
Well, I guess you always meet down by the Blue Stone, don't you, Gustav?
Yeah, so we have one random stone in Bergen. It is called the Blue Stone, and it's not any thing particular, and it's just a random thing, but everyone is just meeting at the Blue Stone. So if you're Friday evening and you want a date, you could just go to the Blue Stone, find someone standing there and say, yeah, I'm the one you're waiting for, and then just go on a date.
Make sure in the show notes you put the location, the Google map to that spot, because
Blue Stone.
It's gonna get busy this weekend.
Yeah, but okay. So after you find that date, where do you take them?
Yeah, it depends. If it's an evening date, then you might go for some pizza. If it's a popular date theme of Norway, it's going hiking, because Bergen offers like so many hikes, and it's actually called the mount, or the city between seven mountains, because we have seven mountains surrounding it, and we have. I don't think it's official, but it's the world's steepest hill climb race kind of thing, and it's up a flight of stairs. So if you want to have like a casual conversation, maybe go on a casual hike.
Are
That's
you
my
speaking
tips.
from experience? So you've taken people on that exact date, or that's
The
what?
problem is that I am generally more fit than the population. So while I'm walking slowly, I can hold a conversation. Maybe the girl is not walking as slowly and kind of struggling. So it's not the best for my fit.
Blooming?
Well, I just have to follow along. Like, yeah, going for hikes and maybe ice cream at McDonald's. I don't know.
McDonald's ice cream in Bergen. So people coming to Bergen, you're offering McDonald's ice cream. There's no like local shops or anything that you guys want to promote.
McFlurry is a classic. It is a classic.
And Gustav, you're going to be testing the VO2 max of any prospective girlfriends before you go on a date. That's nice.
Yeah, that's like my opening statement. So, what's your VO2 max, and are you up for a hike?
Swipe or not. Grand. So yeah, Bergen inaugural World Cup, got to be a hugely proud moment for you, particularly, I guess, Gustav, knowing that your dad has had a hand in the design of the course. Did you get to give a little sort of guidance as well, Kristian? You must have had a few words to say about how it went too.
We haven't really been too much a part of it, but it still seems like the guys who have done it have done a really good job, because yeah, especially the bike course, it's a lot of cobbles, super nice. We went through 2 days ago now, and I think we were both kind of really pleased going through downtown. Yeah, they've done a good job there.
And Gustav, you said it was actually like 2019 that it's been in the planning since. So, that was kind of still pre-Olympics, or at the time of your world champs in Nice and so on. So yeah, this has been kind of on the cards for a while, is it?
Yeah, so we have been trying to get a triathlon in Bergen for a long time, because obviously we had so many good athletes from Bergen, and Bergen is it's a really sport city, and they really get behind their athletes. So when we had a cycling world championship here in 2017, I think, it was a huge crowd out, and it was such an amazing event. Sadly, the finance afterwards was a bit more struggling, and it had some negative press in the after the event. But the event itself was so crazy. So many people met up, and I think that's why we wanted a triathlon in Bergen, because we have a potential to have a really, really cool event here, both because we have some good athletes in me and Kristian and Kasper and Vetle and even more, but also because it's a really beautiful city with a beautiful or big potential for interesting course, and the crowd can really, really go crazy here.
Will there be a big after party after the race?
So me and Kristian will go away already Sunday morning, so we won't attend, but I hope it will be a big party. Yeah.
But the Norwegian athletes, they never go to after party. Like I've never been. I've never been to any party.
We don't get invites. I don't know why.
I've literally been to one after party in my triathlon career, and that's where I met Katie, and then I never went to another one. So you guys just need to find that right one.
100% record, and that's why Katie's stopping you from going to any more. So, I mean, what is it? Bergen, the three of you, the sweep in Bermuda. Obviously, there's you're 28, Kristian. You're the oldest, right? There's 2 years to Gustav, and then Kasper. How has this group come together? When did you first meet? What were the circumstances around that?
I think it's more like a coincidence actually that we're all from the same city. Like Gustav is from the complete opposite side of Bergen than I am, and Kasper, he used to be also on the kind of third opposite side of the town. So it's not like we are from the same neighborhood really. But then when we started with the youth national team and the junior national team back in 2009, 2010, then yeah, suddenly Gustav came in like the year after I came in, and then Kasper like a year after again. And then I think we just realized that it was much more fun to train together than doing it all on ourselves.
Is there a rivalry between the part where you grew up and where Gustav grew up?
So I live way out in the farmland. So it's I don't have any rivalry with anyone because everyone just like, yeah, it's just a bunch of farmers out there. And Kristian pretends he's from the ghetto part, but the ghetto part of Norway is like the most beautiful and most high-end part of some other countries, I think, because it's basically no ghettos in Norway.
Loddefjord is quite rough. It's a little bit like the rough area of London, I've heard. So you either become a musician or triathlete when you grow up there. So you get a really thick skin.
What was your gang sign?
Well, because I couldn't sing, you know, I had to be a triathlete.
It's a big music scene in Bergen, right? Home to musical superstars Royksopp, Kings of Convenience.
Now even more, we have Kygo, who is more recent than Alan Walker and the guys behind What Does the Fuck Say? So we have like the music scene in Bergen, or just like the amount of people from Bergen is actually insane, because the total population is 300,000. But I feel like we have so many people from Bergen that has really made an international name from themselves.
Quick facts run then. Bergen is twinned with which American city? Either of you know?
Seattle.
Washington.
Seattle.
Both correct.
Gustav gets that. Well, yeah, the state of, I guess. Bergen was capital of Norway in the 1200s until when the penguin population grew so big the locals had to move. True or false?
False.
Yeah, that is false.
Bergen is
You guys have penguins?
We have penguins because the bike course is going by the local aquarium. So we have a few penguins at the zoo there.
Penguins in an aquarium don't count.
Yeah, but they are still there, and it's in the bike course. Yeah.
You might be able to see them from the top far end of the bike course.
Yeah, I think.
Are they
so,
legal
yeah.
to own as a pet?
It was
actually
stolen a
1
few
year
years ago.
Yeah, by some students. They stole one.
From the aquarium?
Yeah, so the after parties in Bergen is wild. So some students did an after party after graduation, and they went in and stole a penguin.
We do not condone that
really
behaviour.
Yeah.
Who on the start list would be most likely to steal a penguin after the after party this weekend?
Oh,
Tyler Mislowchuk.
I'm not sure. I think if Johnny gets his hand on a few bears, then maybe he will take a penguin.
Who are you most excited about showing off Bergen to then? Johnny's got to be up there. Presumably he's come because he fancies the fact that you guys are going to put together a pretty good race. He's said that he wants to pick and choose his races quite carefully, and this is obviously one that he likes the look of.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to show it to Matt McElroy. So I spent a lot of time with him in Flagstaff, and he showed me his city. So I'm excited for him to see mine as well. And you, Kristian?
I haven't seen the whole start list, but yeah, of course it's cool that Johnny is coming, but I think Vincent is out because but at least like it's pretty good start list. But I'm not going to show them around too much.
No, got to keep it top secret. Quite right. We were discussing just a bit earlier with Gustav the course. It's particularly like the switchback. Is it a descent or an ascent? It's a descent, isn't it? Where you've got that those really tight turns. Can you kind of give us a quick run through of it, a little preview for those that are going to be watching on Triathlon Live at the weekend as well?
So first of all, you start off with like a very chilly swim, I guess. I'm not sure the temperature in the harbor, but really in the center, heart of Bergen. And then you're taking off from transition, going around the fish market, onto the cobbles, all the way towards the aquarium with some kind of turns all the way up. And then it's kind of a punch hill that you have like next to the aquarium on cobbles. So you still kind of have to be sitting down to get the forces that you need before you're cracking left twice and then onto like a flatter section. And then you have the kind of the switchback that's going down, where you will really be stretching out the field because you can't really be more than one at a time. And then on the bottom of the downhill, you're again having cobbles. So if you're then first down there, then you can really do some damage for the rest of the guys who's behind before coming down around the fish market up towards Mount Flyen, where they had the transition zone for the time trial race during the World Championship, where some of the athletes walked bike to do the finish climb, but we will then very early take to the left through the buildings, down again to the harbor, and then a little flat section for like a K1.5 maybe on softer tarmac. So it's not too much place on the course where you can be resting.
You said a chilly swim. Do you have an estimate of what the water temperature would be? Like 12 degrees, 15 degrees? Or...
So what I saw like on an official site a few days ago was 13 degrees, but I think it's going to be a bit warmer than that. So I about 14.5. That's my guess.
We just had a bath today after a ride.
Yeah, we actually had a swim in the ocean today. Like a swim, like 2 minutes.
It felt warmer than 13 degrees.
Yeah, I agree.
I would estimate 15 maybe.
You guys are so
37.5 degrees.
Windy, like is wind going to be a bit of a factor there, or I guess midsummer it's not quite as wild as it can be, would you say?
No, I think the weather forecast predicts a low wind and no rain at the moment. So this course is drastically changed if it's raining, because the cobbles get quite slippery when it's raining. But I think it's gonna be okay for race day now. But I have prepared like super thick tires if the bad weather comes in, but I think it's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah, you have your cyclocross just in case.
Yeah, I have.
Right.
No, it's a gravel bike actually. It's a gravel bike. It's a big
home
difference.
advantage.
Yeah.
Just go into the locker. How was it for the bike race? You said was 2017 there. Was it wet for that, or has that not been?
It was actually so amazing because the week the World Championship was here. It was like 2 days of rain, but it's like all the big races were in beautiful weather, beautiful sunshine. So it was one of the best weather we had in years. So that was quite nice.
So we had one week of
We had
1 week of good weather, and we still talk about like, oh yeah, we had amazing weather back in 2017. You know, remember that week?
And the grandchildren tell their grandchildren, and then the legend is born. But I mean, yeah, like it is this, isn't it? Like in midsummer, there it is sort of. Does the sun? It's not so far north that the sun never quite sets, right? But you do get those beautiful long nights, don't you?
Yeah, so the sun is setting, but it's not getting like pitch dark.
Low.
So you can still like go outside with no lights at the middle of the night, but it's dark, but it's not like you can't see anything. And yeah, in the winter it's the opposite. It's basically dark all the time.
That'll mess with a few people's jet lag nicely as well then on arrival.
Yeah.
And as far as, so like, you know, Kristian, for example, like in winters, like growing up there and stuff, when it is conversely in the winter, you don't see too much sunlight. I mean, not quite to that extent on the flip, presumably, but did that lend itself to you being like kicked out of the house more and get out and adventure? Otherwise you're going to get cabin fever sort of thing during the winter, or how was that sort of growing up in that sort of environment?
I think you just to get used to it, like you're just out in the dark. But of course it's annoying if you do a morning swim from 8 to 10 and then you do a run and then a power nap, and then suddenly the sun is down again. So it's quite limited in terms of training, but I think as child you're just used to having short days.
Yeah, so when we went to school way back when, then we had like the sun was up when we went to school, and then we came home, and then the sun was already set. So you kind of have to enjoy wearing either a headlamp for your run and your bike, or just train a lot indoors. But I always enjoyed running in the forest in the dark with a headlamp on. So it's not an issue. Just you need some different solutions.
It can get rough sometimes during winter when you don't see the sun. It's like depressing when it's 3 o'clock and it's already dark.
Yeah, does that make
That's when people rise up and steal penguins.
That was actually during the summer months. So.
Oh, okay. Haven't figured out you're Norwegians yet.
You said, Kristian, after Tokyo that that win hadn't necessarily resonated perhaps back home. Has that changed at all for either of you over the last kind of 12 months and everything that's happened?
Well, it's funny, since we came back now since Collins Cup, both me and Gustav was walking like downtown, and we were stopped twice for photos, and with both time it was tourists asking for photos. So one from the UK, I think, and one from France. So it hasn't changed too much, I would say.
Do you think if you win this weekend that will be more impressive than your Olympic gold in terms of Bergen press?
Equally, maybe, or but I think they do. I think they do expect both me and Gustav to do it well, because like they still think that we won the Olympics and the World Championship last year, and we should easily take it, like walk in the park on Sunday. But it's going to be tough, especially with the long distance focus we've had this year. But I still have that little hope inside me that it can go.
Who's more marketable out of you guys in terms of Bergen, wanting to promote a farm boy or the thug life ghetto born Kristian
So
Blummenfelt?
I actually have on my new bike, I have the Harbor and Bergen on my bike. Like it's a custom made bike. So I think I do feel more patriotic for Bergen than Kristian. So maybe they want to market me as well. And I feel like when I'm on Strava, I try to like make Norway look extra good, to not promote the bad days, only like the good days. So I think I am the best promoter of Bergen.
You reckon my photos on Strava is like just in the dark and with bad coloring and
Yeah, you need the filters,
So yeah, like kicking into shorter distance stuff from what you guys have been up to. An inkling of how that's going to go. Obviously, on the other way, you've kind of eased into the longer distance stuff, presumably, and this is quite a yank in the opposite direction. And you're all three of you going to be, well, and it's not just three of you on the start line, obviously, but going to be desperate to take that tape. So, yeah, how's the preparation been going?
So yeah, I did some short distance earlier this year. It may not have been that noticeable because I finished last, actually.
I noticed.
So,
that was noticeable.
Yeah. So I did race Leeds, and I had some hopes to perform, but obviously you have to be realistic when you've been training for Ironman for such a long time. But I only said yes to do the race 2 weeks before, and I didn't have more like 1.5 weeks to prepare. And I was even more like in an Ironman focused period of my training. So I think I'm better.
Real quick, what was your main session that you did in that week and a half to get ready for Leeds? You were like, all right, I'm ready now.
Honestly, I had a really good track session on the run. I did like 2:30 running for a K there. So I had the speed, but the funny thing, like everyone in Ironman think that the bike is the most powerful thing, but it was the bike I was struggling absolutely most with in Leeds. I had no maximum power, but I was struggling so hard.
That's because you raced non-drafting.
Yeah,
you had 12.
I never got in the race.
You just rode by yourself behind everyone else.
Yeah, so I had like not a super poor swim, because obviously my swim has not been my greatest leg, but I had like an okay minus swim, but a shitty T1, and then the rest of the race was just soloing. but I had such an amazing support on a run. Even though I kind of backed off a little because I was running in dead last, I still
There was nobody
enjoyed it.
else to cheer for though on the course. So
But the thing is, they said like, let's go Gustav. So the Leeds fan were like passionate, and I felt like I had a lot of support, which meant a lot to me because it's hard to be dead last when you've been used to like being more at the pointy end. So
alive first.
it was like a super disappointing race, but also a great fan experience, and just a bit humbling to be able to be the best in the world, but sometimes just be also the worst to finish. But I am more prepared now than I was back there, and also to perform on home course, it just means a lot to me. So I think, and I hope, to do better than last place.
Yeah, Kristian, how are your nerves after you saw Gustav switch back to short course for a second?
They're okay. Like, but like for me, it's been more like I've been missing the intensity in training. Like, just going long distance can both mentally be quite tough with all the like training is just extensive. So this summer we have tried to do a little bit more like back to normal training for the last month, 2.5 months. So I think both me and Gustav should be better prepared now than he was in Leeds, and I do have some hope to perform, even though it's I think Olympic distance would have been suiting better, but I do miss the World Series, and this is like the first dip in the water back before I'm coming back again for Bermuda and Abu Dhabi. So I have not too nervous, but really excited to race.
So Bermuda and Abu Dhabi are back on, are they?
Yeah, that's right. So that's the week after the half Ironman World Championship, and then so Bermuda is maybe going to be tricky in terms of performing, but I think Abu Dhabi is a race I really want to target, like in the end of the season. It's suiting really well having it so late, like end of November.
And I mean, Gustav, you talking about like, the opinions of Ironman athletes of, the bike, your weapon, the bike or the run. But Kristian, how much of a kick do you get out of being the subject of so many of those conversations, and Gustav to an extent as well, but particularly you, Kristian, I guess, like, obviously inevitably going to be fueled by the sub-7 side of it as well, but everybody's got an opinion and a comment, and even now after everything that has happened over the last 12 months, there's like, can he, can't he, what's going to, and presumably that's going to probably happen again now this weekend. So is that something that you've sort of enjoyed and reveled in, or would you rather just like the noise wasn't there?
No, I think I do enjoy it, and it's kind of fueling me like for race day, and it's almost like I try to search for it too. Like before a race, I tend to listen to the podcast where they talk about the race that I'm entering, just to hear what people's opinion is before the race, and it's just firing me up, I guess.
And as far as like the sort of mechanics of your training, if you're building up to Abu Dhabi as opposed to building up to Kona, like how, to the layman, how are you approaching those, like that month lead up differently? What is the kind of glaring differential there?
So the key is to open up like the energy system so you can produce more lactate for a short distance race. So then we do less of those 6 hours of just constant like in the middle zone, but we do more polarized. So the easier section will be easier, and the harder section will be also harder, just to kind of get that lactate production going. Because if you can't produce lactate, you'll be dead going around all those dead turns and kind of acceleration that we will see in Abu Dhabi. So it's more about going into the lab, or in the field, and measuring how the lactate is at different intensities, and then trying to adjust the curve.
When you go into like a super hard training set, or what you might consider like a monotonous pool set or whatever, is there a place that you go to, or a thought that you always return to? Like, is there something metronomic that you find yourself ticking over from time to time, or is you just gonna zone out?
Well, I think it's personally, I do like competition and training for some of like the really intensive sessions to really either try to keep up with Gustav when he's attacking or even trying to break away from him. So use each other there for the really tough sessions to really get to race simulation in. And that's also the most fun session, I guess, that I'm doing. I'm not sure about you, Gustav.
Yeah, never try to zone out. I think zoning out is like the worst thing you can do, because you only have like a limited set of time for training. So I try to really use my training to get better and to not waste my potential training hours just zoning out. And I actually do love training. That's why I do triathlon, because to do triathlon you have to do love training. So I try to stay focused and do some focus on either times or intensity, or it's a lot of things to think about.
How do you guys mentally handle, so like word on the street, Blummy, you're a bit better trainer, like you're stronger, can do it more, whatever, and like Gustav, you've had to recover a little bit more. That's just an example. But do you find you get confidence from sessions based on how they go with each other, or are you guys just focused on your own thing and you're just utilizing each other as training partners?
I think the last one.
Yeah, I get confidence for we obviously know what times are good and at what session and what lactate and everything. So we have our own reference for what is good. But if I'm at my good and Kristian is beating me with like 20 seconds, and I still know that my session is good, but then I would get a bit uncertain, because I think you always do measure up against each other, even though you have your own references.
But also I think depends on the session, like because you compare up against what you have done before in training and how you have been able to bring that into competition. So for example, if we do 50s in the pool, then it's not like my confidence doesn't get broken down by doing 50s in the pool, even though everyone is beating me in that session. And I guess Gustav's confidence doesn't increase by beating me on 50s. It's helping more if he can beat me on 800. It really depends on where I bring that into races.
In PTO Canada, when you got your cramp on your leg, Gustav, did you know what was happening at all, or did you get any information, or what were you thinking? Were you just like, sweet, I'm on a flyer, Bloomy's like, I just dropped him, I'm awesome? Like, what were you thinking?
No, at first I thought he was doing like some strange mind games or something, because I was leading the first lap, and then I let him pass me, and then he slowed down quite a bit. Was wondering like, what is going on now? Is he trying to attack? And then he had his cramp, and it was just like stopping so suddenly. It was like, boom, stop. And I almost ran into him in his back. So I thought it was like doing some, something weird, and just wanted me to pull again. And I just turned around and saw him holding his leg. So I quickly understood it was a cramp.
Has that ever happened to you in training before?
Not really. I think the problem were that like I feel I haven't really found my bike position yet. So I came to Canada and I had some new shoes, some new cleats, and felt like, what should I do? Should I take my saddle up, down, forward, backwards? And I ended up bringing it a little bit up to feel more powerful. And I guess that together with the shoes just made me use like a different muscle that I haven't been stressed too much in that duration before. So I think, like a stupid mistake.
On day one of Triathlon 101, they tell you nothing new on race day, and then the Olympic gold medalist comes out and
it was race week. So I did it like three,
and
4
this
sessions
time
before.
Both me and Kristian got new bikes on Monday, so we both have new bikes for the race as well. So there's nothing new on race day. Just it's just for the non-professionals.
Yeah.
I like that you thought Kristian stopping in front of you could have been some sort of wild tactical maneuver, Gustav.
Yeah, that's because he did
I-
it. He did it in Bahrain in 2018. So it's not like he has a history of doing it before. So that's what it could be.
I think I was behind him and I wanted him to keep pushing and pretend like I was suffering, because then I thought, okay, if he can push now for another 4 or 5K and try to drop me, then he will be more tired when I'm putting in the hammer, smashing him back. So, but then he was just glancing over his shoulder and just like almost laughing it off, like, and then he, just almost started walking to force me to take the lead.
Yeah, how does that work now that you guys know like exactly how you guys function at different levels, and like tactically you know what each other are doing? Does it make it more difficult to race each other?
Yeah, it is a bit of a dynamic there. It's quite hard to break down like the mental part of each other because we know each other too good. But I think when it comes to physiology, we still have our differences. So Kristian knows my weakness and strength. So it's kind of you take away a bit of the mental part and use more the physiology.
We don't have to tell everybody your weaknesses, but can you tell everyone each other's strengths?
I can say Gustav's weakness is that he doesn't enjoy pain. That's what we like to say in the team.
Yeah, so Kristian somehow got it some information that I don't enjoy the pain, but I mean, I don't enjoy the pain. Like, I'd rather not be in pain if I can choose. But it's not like I can't tolerate pain either. But if Kristian don't want to say my real like strength,
I will say your
strength.
strength. I will say your strength. You are very, you can be tactical using your strength, like the fact that you are technical good on the bike and not just racing with your head like that is boiling in your head and just like going mad, but you can really be tactical under pressure.
Yeah, and Kristian I agree. And Kristian have a crazy ability to re-mobilize after a long event. So even though he is not like fast, like in general, but the way he can retain the fastness even after a long race, that's I think his greatest strength.
Back on Bahrain and stopping in the middle of the course, what is the wildest sort of race tactic that you've encountered out there then?
I did hold back a little bit in the beginning of the bike to hope that both Iden and Ben thought that I was struggling. So I think they pushed quite hard the first half of the bike. So I was keeping them in sight, but not like straight on their wheel or 20-meter rules. So they were pushing quite hard there to try to break away, but I felt okay. But so then last 30K, I had so much left that I could just break away from them.
It was interesting, like obviously the sort of rigmarole around before the race and a bit after, I suppose, but there's some pretty interesting personalities that have come out over the weekend, and you obviously had a lot to do with Joe Skipper at the sub 7, and he's from my hometown of Norwich, very much like the Bergen of England. Are those sort of characters like outliers from, do you think that you see a slightly more like outspoken type of athlete there than you do on the World Triathlon circuit as a rule, or is it just kind of just been blowing up over the last sort of week or so?
I think PTO is doing a good job promoting the personalities. And I think for World Triathlon, you are like a government sport, and it's kind of different when you have to be more neutral. You have like this podcast and you have your social media, but you still can't promote I wouldn't call it negative, but kind of like the dramatizing thing, because you're still like the more official governing part of triathlon, while PTO is a more commercial part, so they can do whatever they want. Basically, they can promote the drama and do everything like this. So I think the personalities in short distance is obviously great. I have so many good friends for them, and I know that they're still outspoken and really funny guys, but it's just a bit of different marketing tactics.
I think also the athletes, maybe long distance, to be able to kind of make a living out of the sport, to do more themselves, to market themselves. So you don't see that the same push from short distance athletes.
On normal podcasts, they're like, all right, we're going to do rapid fire questions. And so answer as quick as possible. But you guys always have awesome answers and awesome stories. So I kind of just wanted to ask like very basic questions that you guys kind of delve into a little bit deeper. So as an example, like the question would be like, what's your favorite animal, or what animal could you be if you could be any animal? And then you have to explain why for both of those things, and like maybe tell a story of why you're making that decision. So Gustav, you can go first.
I think obviously I would like to be a bird, because that's just such a different ability than being like a land animal. So I like a mountain eagle would be super cool to just fly around and enjoy the thermals of the mountains, and you just soar above everyone else and look down on people. Maybe shit on some cars.
So is that your favorite animal as well, or just the one that you would want to be?
I'm not a bird person. I'm actually kind of afraid of birds. And especially afraid of birds when I'm swimming, because I always, okay, to be honest, I know when I'm swimming, I don't look like a fish. I know that I fight with the water and I splash a lot. Like, I'm not a natural swimmer, so no birds is mistaking me for a fish. But I still think like birds flying over me would assume I was some kind of food and just dive down and put their claws in my back and just rip my heart out. So while I'm swimming, I'm so afraid of birds. So that's kind of why I want to be one as well, to just face my fears.
Jesus. Have you ever like stood on the start line and seen one and thought, hang on, this could be the day that this happens? It's never actually affected a race?
Not on, like in groups it's okay. Then I'm just in the middle, or towards the back of the middle, I would say. But swimming alone with birds, it's just something terrifying about it. Just swimming in general, actually. If I see animals while swimming, it's just something scary.
Blummy?
I don't know. El toro, a bull. I don't know. Something. It's quite boring because you can just walk or run, but it just seems strong and cool. Or a sheep maybe, because they can just walk on in the mountains without worried about the day tomorrow. They can just be out there chilling around, eating grass. And
I feel like you'd get bored as a sheep, Kristian.
You can go to the next stop, and you can go to the next stop, and you can just sit down and look at the view and go to the next stop.
If you could eat anything on an Ironman course, like for nutrition, that didn't like you could eat anything, it doesn't mess up your stomach and doesn't change your race, what would you take on the bike with you? And like it doesn't matter how hard it is to eat or anything.
I think I would drink milk on the bike.
Cold milk?
Like no, I think it's semi-whole, or I don't know what's it in English. But
no, I meant
the 1%.
Okay, I said cold milk. So...
yeah, not whole milk. Okay. A cold cow milk. That would be so nice on a bike. It doesn't need to be chocolate milk either, just like normal milk. And then on a run, some sweets, I think. I just love the little Coke boxes. Yeah, like the Haribo. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
what is it like, without sounding like I don't know what I'm talking about, what is it about milk that makes it such a bad idea to drink on that? Or is that just in any long distance run it's going to go through you?
Yeah, it's the lactose. So I think it's okay in smaller doses, and I have no problems with milk normally. But running, if you're drinking only milk on the bike, would be horrible.
Can you imagine?
But milk is actually one of the best things to drink if you're dehydrated, because it's so easy for the stomach to pick up. So if you are like severely dehydrated, you don't want to drink pure water. Milk is much better. So it's not like the worst idea, but for the stomach, maybe not.
I'm not fact checking you. I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, it is true from what I heard, but I didn't fact check the ones who told me either. So I just continue spreading the lie.
This is how it starts, Gustav. This is how it starts.
Yeah.
All right, so the last one before I go, because I got to peace out. But if you were not allowed to race for Norway anymore, and you had to race for a different country, you had to represent a different country. Which country would you represent and why?
So I already got the honorary citizenship of Taiwan, so that's it's my official answer. So Taiwan. In the Olympics, I think they're called Chinese Taipei. So that's who I want to represent.
The perfect answer.
Don't say Sweden,
USA.
Kristian. Don't say Sweden.
USA. I don't know. Bermuda, I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
You would have to either get married or go through the visa process, so to keep that in mind.
That's a long
All right,
process.
guys, I gotta head out. Nice chatting. Take it easy.
So what is the plan for Kona, Kristian, if Bermuda and Abu Dhabi are on the cards as well? How's Kona fitting in there, sort of date-wise and so on?
Hawaii is 3 weeks before St. George, and St. George is 1 week before Bermuda, and Bermuda is 3 weeks before Abu Dhabi. So the training now is all in towards Hawaii, a little bit like I did all in towards Tokyo last year, and then I do the training that I need to do after to get ready for the rest. But from Hawaii, basically the whole focus or main goal is Paris. So it's not like I will have kind of changed my training to perform next year in long distance. It's more about getting ready for Abu Dhabi and the qualification towards Paris.
Have you both been kind of keeping an eye on what's been happening on the blue carpet this year? Is it, have you been dialing in or just kind of keeping a loose check on who's doing what and the kind of Hayden, Alex battles and so on?
I love triathlon, so it's for sure my biggest interest in life. So I've been following closely the results. Yeah, I see that the run times it's pretty impressive this year, but it's hard to say where the level is at without being there. And I tried to be in leads and tried to feel a level, but I was so far behind I couldn't get a feeling of it. So it's cool to see, and it looks like triathlon it's still evolving, even though it's been like a popular sport for so many years now. It's cool to see that people are still finding ways to keep on improving the sport.
Yeah, there's a lot of new faces, like the generation going into Tokyo. A lot of the ones who were in the qualification process is not in the picture anymore. And then you have Hayden and Alex up front. Also, seems like also a lot of new podiums. So it's been cool to see. And also, I guess every Olympic cycle, the level increase a little bit. The new young guys, they find ways to get even faster.
Are you doubling down even more then for Paris, Kristian? Are you attacking with equivalent, if not more, hunger to try and defend that title? What would you like to add to bolt on to last time?
Well, of course, I think the focus has to be from after Hawaii, has to be all in towards Paris to be able to be in the mix. But also the race dynamic this year seems quite favorable for the way we have raced earlier. The guys up front is the guys who tend to be kind of second pack. So it's not like that top 5 breakaway from the swim that I thought would come this year with the French guys. And so it means Johnny Brownlee up front. I thought that they would be able to get away more often than they have done. So it's been looking good in terms of oar strength for the next 2 years.
And Gustav, if you could have your Tokyo again, or if you were going to tweak a couple of things either in the lead up or during the race, what would you do to be up there, say last time around, to have been there with Kristian and Alex and Hayden at the pointy end there?
Yeah, so our training philosophy is always evolving, and we are still learning a lot of things about both ourselves and training in general. So we still have a lot of things to learn, and we still evolve our training. So Tokyo was for sure not my highest level yet. I still have a lot of potential in me, and I really hope I won't come away with a at 8 at the Paris Olympics, but I'm able to do a bit more.
I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Like, we see what you've achieved and looking ahead, and you think like, well, and looking at what you're doing in training, and it's quite easy to think, well, the level that you're at now is unbelievable, and how can it be built on? But actually, that's exactly what you're doing and what you're aiming for, and that's what you've got to be doing over the next 2 years, right? It's all about those extra gains for the next 24 months.
Yeah, so it's all about trying to find places you can find the seconds. It's not like you're going to find a minute now at our level, but you can find the seconds. And maybe actually for me, if I am able to improve my swimming, 5 notches, then I can find a minute. But it's mostly finding where we can push those seconds for the full event.
And Kristian, is the formula kind of fairly similar looking for the next couple of years then? I mean, you're very fortunate to have each other in the way that you kind of push each other as well. Harold is obviously kind of pushing the buttons brilliantly too in the background there. So yeah, is that sort of what you want to?
I don't think we can copy what we did for going into Tokyo and expect to get the gold medal again in Paris. So for sure we have to be able to step it up. And I think the strength to Olav is that he never settled down. Like, if you have found like one way of preparing, it's not like he just copy and paste. He will always try to do it a few steps better, and sometimes that can be quite tough. Like that we've always been stretched to improve, like and not just doing the session we did. Like, for example, for long distance now, instead of just copying what we did going into Cozumel last year or St. George, we always try to find new way to do it even better. And I guess the same will count for going into Paris. And also the swimming. The swimming is always an area where we really try to step up the game. And I guess we will, hopefully do something different there going into Paris to hopefully bridge up to first back.
Yeah, very different kind of race, obviously, but to see Hayden in the Commonwealth Games, they're coming out at the front of the swim, and Alex also doing very well in the water. It kind of, I guess that must have given you cause for thought too, did it?
Yeah, and also it really gave you a lot of more tactical opportunities during the race. Like in Tokyo, I didn't have too much choice. Of course, I could have been broken away from that group or like try to do something solo, but if I could have been up there in the original breakaway group, then you have much more opportunities early on in the race.
Well, we can't wait to see you back on the blue carpet this weekend, obviously, and Casper as well. Great to see him back racing. That was a terrible accident for him in Artiana. He's fully back and firing, is he, and hungry to go?
For sure. Yeah, he's ready.
He's using the stairs now up from the pool or the ladder. So I'm not sure if he's just faking it, that his aunt is a bit hurting or.
So I felt really sorry for him because we got sent some pictures of him in a group chat, and he was just laying there in the hospital bed, naked and afraid in Italy. And he didn't have enough food either. So I'm just feeling so bad for him.
Well, podium sweep for the three of you at the weekend and that's all consigned to history. So, fellas, thanks ever so much for your time. It's been brilliant. Thanks to Tommy. He's gone already, but great chat. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And roll on Bergen. We're looking forward to seeing you in your hometown.
That's gonna be awesome.